What assumptions are you making for demand for gold for the year?
Well, the fourth quarter, which is the quarter we are now in, is traditionally one of the best quarters because it has a lot of festivals like Diwali, Dhanteras, and it is also packed with a lot of wedding occasions because there are lots of auspicious dates. So you generally expect the demand to spike in the fourth quarter. It's one of the best quarters. Last year, particularly, was one of the best quarters in our series. We have never seen such demand. That's because there was a lot of pent-up demand that came in. We don't expect the same this quarter. We definitely will see a better demand than the first half, but it is not going to be as good as it was last year.
What about the impact from the very weak rupee? It's been touching record lows. Will that impact demand for gold?
Well, actually, if you look at the prices, they haven't really reacted. In fact, we had seen a higher price when rupee was stronger. We have seen 55,000 rupees. It is always quoted in 10 grams here. 55,000 rupees. We have seen the peak during last year. But right now, it is still around 50,000 despite rupee weakening against the dollar. So we haven't seen much of it flow into the gold price because the international price has also come down. So at the moment, the price is actually attractive.
Attractive, but give us a sense here, why you haven't seen gold act as the traditional haven as it has done for so many years before. What do you put that down to?
Well, it is not like there is some crisis that the people have realized that they have to rush to gold. If you look back, there have been cases when inflation was just very high and people did not have the right investment choices, so they moved to gold. Right now, yes, inflation is a little high, but it is not something which is being perceived as something of a crisis here. So therefore, gold is just seeing a seasonal uptick. There is no crisis push towards gold at this moment of time. That's why you don't see that people rushing to buy gold. You expect that, 5%, 6% inflation, people will walk up to the jewelry stores. That's not the case now.
But I'm talking here some about what we're seeing globally in terms of with this volatility in markets and assets at the moment, deflating in price. That's one aspect of of the question I was asking you. And the other thing I was trying to get to is, are you seeing gold lose out to crypto?
Well, not at all, and not in India specifically. And as we have always maintained, there are several asset classes. It's not like, just because crypto has come, people have moved out of gold. If you hold more crypto, actually, you need more gold to balance your portfolio risk. We haven't seen much of it because last year we saw 800-ton demand. We will see close to that this year. So it's actually coming back to the pre-COVID levels in terms of the total demand in tonnage. And if you really translate it in terms of Indian rupee, because the prices in the last 3 years have gone up by nearly 55-60%, the investment in gold has really jumped hugely.
Even gold has gone digital. What are you seeing in terms of digital sales for gold? Is it appealing to perhaps the younger generation?
Yes, it is. Although I must say that the physical in-store experience continues to reign supreme. You do have lots of fintech initiatives which have come in India where you can buy gold, using a mobile, and it is stored in a safe vault, independent of the platform. So those have actually caught the fancy of people. They have been growing in the last couple of years, but in the overall scheme, they're still very, very small. 80% is jewelry, and close to another 19% will be bars and coins, all in physical form.
So I think 800 tons of gold was consumed in India last year. What's the overall target for this year? Can it be repeated in your view?
Well, the first half, which is the calendar year, we saw 307 tons. And that is the second quarter in particular saw a 43% jump, but that's on a low base effect because last year's second quarter was one of the worst affected by COVID. So still, first half was 307 tons. We will expect the fourth quarter to be very good, but not as good as last year. Last year, as I mentioned, was 345 tons. We don't expect that to happen. So we will see something close to 700, 750 tons this year, not the 800 tons that we saw last year.